Independent Women's Law Center, May Mailman, and the Director of Policy for the American Principles Project, John Schweppe. Thank you both for coming on. May Mailman, you first. I want to put the Fox Power rankings up here because it's a little bit of bad news for the former president. It has Kamala Harris for the first time with the lead, the Electoral College, 241, 219, still a lot of electoral votes up for grabs. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think we can't forget that Joe Biden was leading in the polls virtually the entire time in 2020 by a lot. And so here, I think you're mostly seeing ties in Arizona. Joe Biden was leading the whole time and ended up only winning the state by 10,000 votes. 10,000 people have to say that they have regrets. And I bet a lot more people than that have regrets, given that you had historic inflation and Trump not caring about people. Trump is the one who has spent time with, for example, the families who lost their kids in Afghanistan, and Kamala Harris in the debate said she had no regrets about that.
Yep, that's exactly right. I want to put up the national polls now, John Schweppe, because these are also fascinating. I mean, you look at this, New York Times, Siena, 48-46, Trump, NPR, PBS, Marist, 49-48, Harris, Pew, 49-49, Wall Street Journal, 48-47. That is the pretty close definition of a dead heat.
Yeah, well, we knew from the beginning, back when Biden was the candidate, that this was going to be pretty close, and now, it remains pretty close. But I'll point out what May said. I think that's a really good point. When you look at the polls in 2016 and 2020, they were much worse than this. And so I think the president's in a really good spot, especially when you consider that the Electoral College should favor him. So he doesn't necessarily even have to win the popular vote. If he loses by 1 or 2 points, he's going to be in a good spot for the Electoral College.
But I'll tell you what is damaging to Kamala Harris. I want to put this up because this is battleground state inflation. And you can see the numbers. They're kind of small, but you've got Nevada 22%, Arizona. It's all kind of in line, 22%, Georgia 21, 21 in North Carolina. On it goes, 20 in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania 18.9. I mean, those are big numbers, May Mailman, and it's a lot to overcome when you don't want to talk about the economy and you can't talk about your plan.
Yeah, so in the debate aftermath, I think you are going to see a little bit of a boost, a bump for Kamala Harris because she spoke clearly. She didn't have gaffes. But I think in a few days, people are going to realize, wait a second, she didn't actually explain to me why she's capable of being president. She talked about her upbringing, and then she talked about Trump's rallies. But if you are hurting, which so many Americans are, and you wanted to know what Kamala Harris was going to do about it, and all she said she was going to give a bunch of handouts that are going to explode inflation, I don't think that you're going to be very comfortable casting a vote for Kamala Harris at the end of the day.
Meantime, the former president, Donald Trump, says no more debates. He's done. And Kamala Harris said this.
And I believe we owe it to the voters to have another debate because this election and what is at stake could not be more important.
John, does Trump come around or you think the deal is done?
Well, Trump shouldn't do another debate if it's with ABC News. I mean, that was actually an embarrassment to the profession of journalism to have that kind of 3-on-1 live fact-checking of one candidate but not the other. But, ultimately, I think if it's a fair debate, if it's a balanced debate, if it's on a reputable network, Fox News would be great. I think Trump should absolutely do it. But if it's going to be unfair like that, I don't really see the upside for him. He's in a good position right now as it is.
May Mailman, I got 10 seconds for you. Same question.
I don't think that he should do the debate. I think the people who are tuning into the debate at this point are looking for reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, and Trump does a really good job of joining podcasts, doing non-traditional media, reaching other people who are interested in hearing Trump's message.
May Mailman, John Schweppe, thank you both.